So I manages to get to Giant Stadium, and we get into the dressing room. We're there an hour and a half before, and then we go out, and I'll set the scene. There's like 100,000 people at Giant Stadium. It's 100 degrees. There's millions watching around the world. My family and my friends are in the crowd. It's the most proudest moment of my life. We come out onto the pitch. Ireland have lined up here, Norway have lined up here, and the referee's in the middle, like you see with the Champions League now. So the national anthem starts. Anyway, I've got my chest out. I've got John Aldridge here, and I've got Roy Keane standing this side of me. I used to try and stand next to one of my heroes, because I used to think he'd rub off on me and I'd play even better. So I had John there. Roy was rubbish. So I'm standing there with my chest out like this. So anyway, I've looked down the line, and Andy Townsend, he's whispered into Packy Bonner's ear. And then Packy Bonner's then whispered into Terry Phelan's ear. Then it goes into Paul McGrath's. And it goes down the line into Steve Staunton's. So it's coming up to John, and I'm thinking to myself, when John comes to me, all you've got to do, because I'm not the brightest button in the box, I'm thinking to myself, just listen, right? It's obviously going to be last-minute instructions, like, don't give the ball away, keep it tight, we only need a draw. I'm thinking it's going to be instructions like this. So it gets to John. So I'm standing there with my chest out. So next thing, John leans across, and he just whispers in me, and he goes, row F, bird with the Viking hat. He went, look at the size of her boobs. And then he went to me, pass it on. So I've gone, Jesus Christ, they're massive. So I've gone, Jesus Christ, it's Roy. And I went to all of, it's Roy. He went, just tell him. So I went, I can't. He went, just tell him. So I went, keep it tight, Roy, don't give the ball away, don't give away, stupid. That's the truth.
I was playing for the Republic of Ireland against Holland. It was a big qualifying game. The Dutch had, the arrogance of the Dutch, they'd already booked their hotel for the World Cup in Japan. They'd already booked the plane. And it was really a non-event them coming to Lansdowne to play us. It was a matter of what the score, how many they were going to score, really. And we were still in it. We were still in the qualifiers. A result against the Dutch would have, put us in a playoff against Iran, and then we had a right chance of making Japan. So we knew it was a massive game for us, and we knew the crowd was going to be brilliant. It was sold out weeks and weeks before. Anyway, we goes the game. It was like a 6 o'clock kickoff, and it was the Beckham game where he scored against Greece. So England had done their job basically. Beckham had scored the winner, and we kicked off just after that. And the game wasn't going really to plan. The Dutch were on top for a lot of the game, and then Gary Kelly went and got sent off, and we were down to 10 men, and we were really up against it, 0-0. And Triggs, which is me, asked to take a corner, so I runs over to the right hand side and I whips this corner in, gets punched out, and the skipper picks the ball up. Roy picks the ball up, does a bit of stuff. The referee plays a fantastic advantage. It goes out to Damien Duffy, rolls it on to Steve Finnan. And I was being really lazy, to be fair, and I should have been back on the right-hand side by this time, but I decided just to stay on the left. Anyway, the ball goes out to Finn, he manages to get his cross in. And I'm free at the back stick, and there's a lovely little bounce just before it comes to me, and I've got about, 8, 9, 10 yards to go, and it sits right in front of me, and I bends it right into the top corner, and it ends up being the winner of the game. And there's great celebrations after the game, a lot of emotion after the game, and we sent the Dutch packing. Anyway, I get into the dressing room at the end of the game, and Mick Byrne, who's like the physio of the team, he's like he's like our father, he's brilliant, he's like our dad, he's a fantastic character. And he comes into the dressing room and he gives me a big hug, and he's like made up. He says to me, I've just had the lead singer of U2 on, Bono, just had him on the blower. He says, they're live in Slane tonight. Big concert, sold out, thousands and thousands of people. They want you to go on stage. So I'm thinking to him, he wants me to go on stage with him. So he goes, yeah, he wants you to go down. I said, listen, Mick, I've got Aldo. Aldo's come the game. I said, I've got him tickets and all the lads and that. I said, I've got a night out planned. I said, I can't go on stage with Bono. He says to me, listen, he'll fly our helicopter in for you, right? They'll pick you up, they'll land at Slane, and you go out with him, and he's gonna make a big... I went, Mick, I can't do it. I can't let Aldo down. He's one of my heroes. I can't do it. So anyway, I'm thinking, what should I do? And I thought, I'm going out with Aldo. And I went into town that night and I met Aldo and I went... Anyway, there was a part of me that didn't really believe Mick, to be fair. And I went to Vegas about a year later, and I was having a piss in a bar in Vegas. And there's a lad standing next to me, and he goes, because obviously you know my nickname's Trigger. He goes, Trigger. He said, I was watching a DVD the other day. He said, U2 live in Slane. He went, that fucker Bono comes out with a flag wrapped around him, shouts your name, kicks a beach ball into the crowd. I went, you're having a laugh, aren't you? So when he goes home, buys the DVD, and there's Bono shouting Mcateer all over the place, pretending he scored the winner against Holland. And I f*** him off. Oh, mate, tell you, things you do. It's true.
So we go back to his house, wake up in the morning, his Porsche is covered in frost. So he said, what I'll do, I'll start the engine, put all the heaters and all the blowers on. Yeah. We'll leave it there for 10 minutes, go and have another coffee. We have a coffee, go back, all the frost and ice had gone. We go to get in the Porsche, it had locked itself. I said, get your spare keys. He went, oh. I went, I don't know. What? Where are they? He went, in the glove box. Why are they in glove box? I went, no, in case I lose them ones. Police cars come round the corner, I swear. So you think, looking at us, as me and Dave Mcateer, trackies on, looks like two scallies, like we trying to get in this Porsche. They've come up, what are you doing? He said, no, Jason Mcateer. Razor, explained him. Spare keys, I went, don't ask. So the policeman went, OK, Mr Mcateer, said, go inside, get yourself a coat hanger. We'll try and open it with a coat hanger. We'll have a go. It most probably won't work with these supercars. We'll have a go. Mcateer went in his house, come back out with a wooden one.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No, that was funny as So Howard, I mean, I get on really well with Howard, and I can see it all but he started off on the wrong foot. And Reedy, I think it's always hard if you lose a manager like Reedy. If it's like for like, you got a chance, right? But it's not. It's like polar opposites. So plus then the weekend off and all that. So results were going wrong. So he got us in, right? So we're all sitting there, and he brings this like telly on wheels with the video recorder, brings it in, right? We're all sitting there. What's this? And then his question was, who's the greatest team in the world? So one lad sticks his hand up and goes, Brazil, 70. I think I went, Liverpool, 89. It was one of them. And he goes, no. And he puts this video in. It starts, right? It's these geese flying in formation, right? Like a V, like that, right? And he went, watch what happens to the front one. And then the front one drops down and the back one flies to the front and takes over. And they fly in like
formation.
Yeah. And he said, and they talk to each other, they communicate. He does this big speech, right? This is the best team in the world, and this is why they can fly across the world, and they can do this, that, and the other. And we're all like, right. So then that finishes, right? And he says, you've got to grasp the moment when it comes around, and you've got to stand up for yourself. He said, you might be scared of it. You might be scared of the moments, he said, but you've got to embrace it and grasp it, and it won't hurt you. You'll be able to do it. And he pulls this bag up from the side of him, and he's got this plastic bag. And he went inside and he shows us, and there's like a load of nettles from the garden. Big bag of nettles.
I thought it was going to be a goose.
Dead one. Things like that.
This here looks at front, just with a captain's ring round his
So he goes, if you didn't know, he said, you can get a nettle, and if you grasp the nettle, it won't sting you. So he's obviously giving this analogy. He puts his hand in this bag to pull out a load of nails, right? It just, the blood went as like, and like smoke come out of his ears like that, right? And you could see him like, he pulls it out. He's got this bunch of nails, but he's got to follow it through, like with it, and he's like, they won't sting like that, right? And he puts them back in. Next week, you see all the white dots all over the stuff, standing like that, massive, and we're all like, what? And next week he went, yeah, Dan, just walked out.
Straight like, dot leaves.
Yeah, spin. One of them, it's got an hand like a gladiator. Oh my God, yeah. We were just in disbelief, and then he got this company in called Red Co or something like that, and they were like all done psychological stuff, and we all had to so we got like 20 players lying down in a dark room, all with the lights out, trying to visualize. Next thing you just hear lights like chucking away and all that, and it was like
just a simple but effective.
And then another one was one of the lads, like they give us a load of plasticine, right? And they went, right, we want you to like visualize yourself through this plasticine, create something that shows me what you were doing on Saturday. And like one of the lads had pulled this, like built like a bench and like a little clay mat and sat himself on the bench and all that. And he was like, what's that? He's like, me on the bench Saturday, I'm on the bench Saturday. It was just, the piss taking was just like, so that didn't go down very well. And they left. And then we got relegated, didn't we? Well, what I loved about Sammy was I had the reserves and like the younger kids. I always had a great relationship with the kids. Like it was funny, like I'd go there and I had an Aston Martin and they'd say to me, listen, I've like the kids would come to me, like the 18s and the 19s, and they'd go, I've nicked a bird here at the weekend. Can I borrow your car and go and pick her up, take down? I'd go, yeah. I loved it. I'd go, yeah. And then I come in one day and one of the lads, I won't say who it is, but one of the lads coming to me and I went, you have a good time last night? He went, oh mate, I rattled that bird in your car, you know. I went, that's it. No more. No more. And I stopped them taking my car. They went all like...
Imagine under 19s player at Tranmere, he's got Aston Martin.
Yeah, picking his girl up and all that. And yeah, it was just... Do you know where I got that from? Mickey Gray. Mickey Gray had a Ferrari at Sunderland and there was a player called Michael Reddy. And
I played with Michael Reddy, Irish kid.
Yeah, and he got this girl from another country and she was flying in to see him. But she told him he was this like Premier League footballer and all that. And of course, he was just one of the kids at Sunderland on like a few £100 a week or whatever. Not a pot to piss in, trying to get there. And he'd give her this full-on story. She flew over thinking he was like leading goal scorer in the Premier League. And he said to Mick, can I go and borrow your Ferrari to pick her up so I could play the role of this footballer in the Premier League? And Mick, look, we loved it. And he went, go on. So Mick let him use the car to pick this girl up. And I remember sticking with me. So when the kid said to me, I've nicked this, I used to think, brilliant. Yeah, go on. It's like, so I'd lend him the car until he rattled someone in it.